Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So most of last week was pretty much chaotic. We've got a lot of selling happening up here, and I just want to highlight that. So if you look at all those tails, there's quite a bit of selling happening here. There's no structure to the left, though, which is what really concerning me. The closest structure is up here, and that is at 103,687. So if we just take this box here, so you can see big down, big up. So this is a engulfing bar that's here. So for me, those are the two areas to pay attention to. If we just do that. So it's the high of this 8-hour bar and the low of the previous 8-hour bar. So we get back down to the hour. You'll see pretty much big up and big down on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we're stuck in a fairly big range. You can actually just slide that across. And you can see there's the low of Friday, and there's the high of Friday, which is basically those two big up and big down bars. So we do have an engulfing bar here. We've got a pretty strong trend. For me, break of 102,600 brings on 103,687, and a break of the low of Friday, 101,300. That continues the bigger trend to the downside. So in other words, you would expect some kind of a pretty big move back down. I think you'd probably come and test one dead, which is around here somewhere. Yeah, so 1.0000. So that's kind of the view that we've got. Until we break out of this range, I'm set on hands. Don't think there's anything on the lower time frames that's going to help you either. You can see just gaps everywhere. But yeah, above and below the moving averages like this on the lower time frames, there's a lot of confusion happening here. My bias is still for the bigger trends. So in other words, I would expect us to break to the downside, but we're going to need to break the structure before we even look at that. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen, and if we start off on the 8th hour, you can see we've pulled back into this area of potential support. We're kind of hovering around in this area. If you look to the left, all intents purposes, if you're looking for a continuation of the upside, this is a great area with a stop below 134,789. Now, if we just get down to the hour, you'll see cross over the moving averages. It does look like a bit of a flag forming here off structure. So there is another level lower down at 134,789, which does look like what we are going to be targeting. So you can see there's a bit of a gap here, which we have closed. There's the gap there. And on Friday, as I said to you, we pulled up to a bit of structure here. And that structure is these previous swing lows from earlier in the week, as well as the moving averages there. And you can see a bit of a range bar, then an engulfing bar, and then we just plummeted off. So for me at the moment, that is a fairly interesting level. That's 137,075. So pull back into there. Another leg down to come and test this 134,789. And would be wise to be watching the 15-minute today on this one. Pretty much all over the place at the moment. So I just wait for structure. I think that gap will probably be targeted again early in the session. So just put a level there, right there. See, it was targeted earlier this morning, but during the European session, more than likely be targeted again. So trend is down on the 15-minute, trend is down on the hour, trend is down, still up on the 8-hour. It does look like potentially another leg down, but I'd be watching the 15-minute for that. So as soon as you see a retest of structure, and obviously anything higher up here would be much nicer, 137,075. Would be a half decent area to be looking for shorts again. Moving on to British pound, Japanese yen. We're sort of trying to find support on the 155. Oscillators grouped to the downside. Diversions forming. You can see there's the previous swing low, and look at this. We are now lower than that on price. So a bit of a range bar forming at the moment. So probably another setup for London breakout strategy. First 7-hour bars. So you can see on Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pretty much played out perfectly and tested tested the break of the moving averages, and you can see there first the range target, buyers came in, and then the second extension, which is a 2618, which played out. So what you'd be looking for is something similar today. Look for the first 7 1-hour bars and draw your range around it. You break below it, continue to the downside, break above it, you are looking for a move to the upside. For me at the moment, trend is down on the 1 hour, and it is poised at the moment on the 8 hour. So it just gets the levels to pay attention to here are fairly simple. Right where we are, and then a little higher up over there. So first area would be in the region of 163,645. Second area is right here at 163,389. So what you're looking for is some kind of retest here. If you do get a squirt higher, which is also possible, there's another fairly solid level if you look to the left here at 164,055. So oscillators are grouped to the downside. They have crossed over on the hour at the moment, so it does look like you're probably going to be finding some kind of a pullback to be trading off. But London breakout strategy, I think, is the one to play for at the moment, and pay attention to these levels on the 50-minute as well. You can see the trend on the 50-minute is clearly to the downside, with a bit of diversions though, so possible to retrace. But then again, as I say, any of these tails here will offer resistance in a downtrend on the 50-minute. So that's what I'd be playing for. Moving on to Euro British Pound. This one is all over the place. And you can see last week, basically, look at all these tails to the upside, tails to the downside. That's barbed wire. It's a sign of confusion in amongst the moving averages in the 8 hour. This is not something you want to be trading. Moving across to the hour, and you can see pretty much a similar picture in amongst all the moving averages. So I would be curious to see if we can find support above 0.85215. If we can do that, so in other words, I want to see a clear break of that, come back, find support here. That would set up structure to the upside. To the downside, I'm basically looking for a break below the current low of the morning. So that's going to be another London breakout strategy that is starting to form. So wait for the first 7 1-hour bars. You're looking for a 15-minute break above the level or below the level, and then you're looking to chase it for the height of the range first. But this is chaotic, so when you look at this on the higher time frames, this is a clear stay away. You look at it on the 15-minute, you probably got some sort of consolidation brewing here for a break either way. And if you look at it on the 50-minute, you've actually got an inverse head and shoulders here. So that's kind of the view that I've got here. The clear break 0.85200, break and retest. There's a bit of a gap here, so it's important to wait for that retest because you could get a break to close a gap and then plummet back into the range. So it's got to be a clear break and retest, otherwise sit on the sides. And the same for the downside, 0.85049. Break and retest, then you're looking for an opportunity to short this. But at the moment, I would prefer sitting on the sides based on what I see on the hour there. Anyway, that's it for Forex today. Looking a little bit confused. I think we are waiting for quite a bit of data this week, so you probably find a lot of range trading happening today and tomorrow. Probably up until Wednesday, more than likely. Hope this helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.